Oh man, so you've seen some good bucks today, huh?
Dude, yeah. Couple really nice bucks.
That one was
Couple
a
real nice.
that was a stud.
That was a stud.
Don't you
I
have a
was like,
ranch? Don't you have a rancher's tag?
I wish.
I wish
Uh
Tahone had bucks like that.
oh man, I wish that thing would show himself in season. It's always, you know, the week or two after. It's when they all start showing up. And yeah, there was another hammer up on top of the hill. I I was with my fiance. We were driving down the road, and I'm just like looking. We were going pig hunting in the morning. Me and my brother. Um, my fiance might come with us, but he wants to go like fill the freezer, and so we're doing a little scouting, and I look up on top of the hill, and there's always something like in this little spot in the evening time. So I just like pulled up my binoculars, and boom, there's six does, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be something around here, and then here he comes, and there's just big buck kind of right on the face of the hillside, and I'm like, holy smokes, that dude's a giant. But I couldn't really make out what he was. I could
Right.
just see like his frame, and I was like, yeah, ridiculous. And then we come
Uh,
around the corner, and then we pull up on that buck, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
yeah, it makes you like wonder, like, man, where are they at during the season?
It's funny. Like he looks similar to a buck I saw last year, and that's what makes me kind of weirded out. And I can, if I can remember, I'll send you the video of that buck and from last year, and it literally could be the same deer. Yeah, but yeah, some good bucks running around, and gonna be doing some hunting tomorrow and grubbing with the fam.
Oh, you guys gonna do a little like turkey, or you gonna do pigs for Thanksgiving?
We're gonna do turkey, but my brother just wants to bring some home to LA.
You can't blame them for that.
No,
Is
I
that
was
like a
like, yeah.
tradition with you guys doing the turkeys?
We don't hunt the turkey for Thanksgiving. No,
Oh,
just buy it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really like the fall turkey hunting. I kind of I tried it a couple times, and I like them gobbling and coming in and
It's a lot better.
fighting and stuff. It's like I'd rather save my turkeys for a little bit of action like that rather than just kind of like sneak up on them and spook them and have them come back. And it's like I don't know, that doesn't do anything for me.
Right. Nice. So I was going to ask you. So how's the G40 hunts going? Have you heard anything on those?
Yeah. There was a nice buck that was killed by kind of a friend of a friend. Um, Other than that, it's been kind of rough. I know that there was another big buck killed. I didn't get to see pictures of it. Um, but I have this one guy. This actually is pretty interesting. He, I've been helping him out. I actually met him through the Go Hunt app. We, I was looking at the unit, and I saw that he had messaged, and I was like, "Oh, hey, like, I'm happy to help out. Like, message me." And so we got in contact, and we were back and forth. I ended up meeting him for dinner quite a few weeks ago, just kind of getting him prepped up for the season. And yeah, he comes out. He went on a scouting trip for a couple days. Came out. He's been hunting since Tuesday. Scouting and then hunting, obviously on Saturday to start. He just kind of wanted to get an idea of what was around, if anything was in there. And all he's been seeing was does, and a lot of does. And I was like, dude, you're set. Like, follow those does. Bucks will come. He told me one day he didn't see a single buck in 100 does.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, be there. Wherever that is, stay around there. And he's like, okay, okay. And yeah, he ended up seeing a couple bucks fighting today. One big buck, I texted him and no shot. Yeah, so he's a little bit bummed. I think he's starting to feel the pressure because, it took him 16 years to draw. And what I've kind of noticed, and I kind of want to get your opinion on this, is that some of these people that I feel like go on these hunts just have no idea what they're getting into. No idea.
Yeah, I think with those hunts, a lot of people, there's a lot of pressure, obviously, when you wait 16 plus years for one of those, premium tags, and it's a new unit. I feel like with those hunts, obviously it's a rut hunt, and we got some weather, and it should push deer down. But in those hunts, I think a lot of guys get in that mindset of wanting to stay low. And if you're not seeing the caliber of bucks, or if you're not seeing bucks really low, I would try to get as high as I possibly can in that unit, however many feet that is. I mean, I'm not obviously I don't know the unit that well, and I haven't really studied up on it, but I would get as high as I possibly can get, and then work my way down from there. You know what I mean? Because I did see on the D700 page, a guy posted uh, a pretty decent 3-pointer. He was a wide but not real heavy buck. I mean, a nice buck. You know what I mean? But that's the only deer I've heard of. But I think these guys that have these tags, I think really need to start as high as they possibly can, and then kind of just work their way down in elevation until they start finding pockets of bucks. Because it is a migration hunt, and obviously it's a rut hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that California would have opened all of D7 for this hunt. You know what I mean?
That would have made things a little bit more interesting.
Right. Because you could still get bucks at, 6,000-7,000 feet right now. Big bucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of what I thought, honestly. Like, I don't think we've gotten the weather to really push those bucks all the way down yet.
No.
And another big factor, that I think is kind of messing with the G40 hunters, is there are so many people quail hunting right now up in the mountains. I was
Really?
talking to this guy, and he said he talked to over 20 people, and they're all just quail hunting, and they're all around. Like, he's like hearing gunshots and all this stuff, and he's like trying to get away from people, and he's like, dude, there's just too many.
That's annoying.
And I'm like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. I think that's a factor that nobody really thought of.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, at least when I don't really go out of state very much, because, I don't have the money for it, really. I really want to save, and I want to learn. I'll go on a hunt with like a buddy with a tag kind of thing, and just keep, like, get the hunt feeling, but not actually have to fork out the cash quite yet.
Right.
And that's kind of like, it's, I guess, a little bit more strategizing it, and I don't want to just waste it. And so I do a lot of research on, at least kind of recently when planning some of these out of state stuff, is like, well, is this a high success, as high as it can be, like a potentially successful hunt? Because if it's not, I am not in the financial position to take that risk, to be honest with you. I'm just not yet. And I just don't have the time to waste. So that is the quail hunters would definitely suck and kind of piss me off, because that would be something I would not have thought of.
Honestly, I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean?
No.
And then, and I feel like Department of Fish and Game should have made it to where in that unit, like during the G40, is shut down to quail. Like, you're not allowed to go in there. You can't be quail hunting. You know what I mean? And have it being patrolled to allow those guys. Because how long's the G40 season?
It's only a week.
It's a week. So if a quail hunter's gonna get angry, dude, you got the whole state of California to go shoot quail, and you don't have, you know what I mean? These guys waited, obviously he's 16,
Yeah.
so say 16 plus years for this tag. You can give up 1 week of shooting quail.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know where you're coming from, but I actually, like, it is public land, And it's like, it's hard to like, I don't like the government interference, so I don't really necessarily want them stepping in and overstepping, and just that's just one more thing that they're going to manage. They don't have the resources, they don't have the time, they don't care. They
Right.
don't even, I don't even think they care about hunting. The CDFW, I don't really think they actually care that much about
I
hunters.
don't, no. And me
Yeah.
personally, no, just for, selfish reasons, I'm not a bird
Yeah.
hunter. So for me, I'm just like, I don't want them in there. I'd rather just, focus on my hunt. Because I did a G37 hunt once, and we never dealt with any quail hunters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that didn't even like when you mentioned that, that is like I was like, that wouldn't even have crossed my mind.
Yeah, me neither.
You know?
Me
Well,
neither.
that's a bummer. I mean, I had huge expectations for this unit, but apparently it's looking like it's either need to be the lines need to be redrawn or make the unit bigger.
I honestly think that the biggest factor is people just not realizing what they're getting into. So this
Right.
gentleman, he was texting me today. He's like, um, gosh dang these hills. Like I did not expect this. And I'm like, dude, like this is not like a walk in the meadow.
Right.
This is steep terrain, and these bucks are on these really steep faces
Yeah.
everywhere. I mean, it is just nasty steep. So I don't really know what he expected. He obviously didn't do his research prior enough to really understand his condition. You know, he has some physical disabilities, which is unfortunate. So I've been kind of trying to help him along and give him some pointers as best I can. And I really wanted to get out with him, but I got work, and now I'm Thanksgiving, and then now I'm going off to Nebraska here in a couple days, and it's just like, I'm sorry, dude. I can't help you. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I think
it
a
is
lot of
what it
people,
is.
yeah, and I think a lot of people just they don't, they think like, oh, it's going to be a late season hunt. I can just drive down the road and shoot bucks.
It's
And
not.
sometimes on those weather hunts and those migration hunts, that's sometimes not the case. You know what I mean? I've heard G3 more often than not be not that great of a hunt due to the fact that there's zero weather, you know.
Yeah,
Or in that situation, it takes so long for somebody to draw the tag that they're too old to go hunting. I mean, and I'm not trying to be rude, but, physically they just cannot go deeper, especially in Madera County where G40 is. That's some steep country. That's big country. And you got to be in some serious shape. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
It is not a walk in the park.
No, no.
But yeah, I mean, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? You guys
Now
hang
my boys
around?
are coming over and my mom, and we're just gonna do a turkey and then
Nice.
back on the grind of guiding again. Leave again on Friday.
Okay, so
So
you were at Tejon.
yep, I was at Tejon from Friday till I just got back today. I was doing the PLM deer hunts. So
Looked like
had
you did
a
some killing.
yeah, no, it was the Bucks were rutting really good. It's a fun, late season rut hunt. I started off doing for two junior hunters for management bucks, so that was pretty cool. They had killed two bucks before in Arizona, but these were their first two California bucks, and it was kind of rough. I mean, to be honest with you, I could not. I either found really young bucks or really big bucks, but I could not find like a good management buck. And then thankful for Cody Luigi, one of the guides there. He was doing a trophy hunt, and he actually was able to turn up a really nice management foreground on our second day. And so he called me and he told me, he's like, hey, I'm over here if you're looking for a management buck. So I cruised over there, and we ended up, he was about 640 yards from the buck. And so we decided we were going to leave one of the kids on point and then kind of work our way around the ridge. And then I took one of the other kids and his dad, and we ended up sneaking in there to 50 yards. And that buck was bedded looking down the hill like an idiot. And I was like, oh, this buck's he's an idiot. And we snuck into 50 yards, and then we sat there for a while, and then he kind of did one of those where he looked at you, and then he like looked away, and he like snapped back and looked and was like, "Where in the world did you come from?" And I was telling that kid, I was like, "It's from like Home Alone when that dude sticks his head through the doggy door," and he's like, "Hello." I was like, "Checkmate." And so he stood up at like 50 yards, and the kid shot him. And so then went out that evening, and I was looking for a real big foreground that we had been seeing in what we call the cat skins. It was probably like a 23, 24-inch foreground. I just couldn't find him. Saw a lot of other trophy bucks. So then we ended up finishing out that night, and then the last morning, Sunday morning, I told the other kid, I'm like, "Well, it's 4th and 10. Today we're gonna have to. We got to really pray that we can find a good management buck." And as we were headed back into the area where I thought that big foreground was, 2 bucks ran across the road, and really cool, like short horn but heavy foreground with like knobby bases. Ran across the road, and I was like, "That's a perfect management buck." And the kid made one heck of a shot. Matter of fact, he actually called his shot. After he shot, he looks at me and goes, "Oh, Preston, I hit him a little far back." And I said, "For 12 to be able to know that when you shoot is pretty awesome." Because I've had grown adults that are like, "Did I get him?" And I'm like, "Yes, you got him." And so that was pretty cool. We ended up killing a pig Friday night, a buck Saturday, and then a buck Sunday. And then I had a trophy hunter come in on Monday. And as we were trophy hunting, I actually went back in that same area where that big foreground was, because I had seen a really big 3-pointer in there Saturday night. So I was going there to look for him, and I ended up turning up that big foreground. I was like, "Figures," when I don't need them. And then as we were getting to go over there to get a closer look at that buck, because I saw a frame. He was like 1,000 yards, so I could see his frame, and I was like, "Oh, we should probably go look at that deer." And as we're driving over there, I happened to look in the trees, and I just see his white face staring at us through the trees or whatever. And when I looked over, I could see his bases, and I was like, "Oh, that's a heavy buck." And he turned, and I was like, "Oh, he's a big 4." And then he kind of trotted out and ended up being a real heavy, probably like 20 by like 15, real heavy 4x4 or 4x3. And then he had 2 little stickers on him, and just a really heavy, solid, just pretty buck.
Yeah, that was a cool buck.
Yeah. And so, not to be gruesome, but it was kind of cool, but he shot that buck, and the buck took off, and then all of a sudden, like he's going into a real bad hole, and I was like, "Oh man," I was like, "Shoot him again." And he just stops, and it was like a faucet. He just started pouring blood out of his nose and his mouth, and he started rolling down the hill, and I was like, "Oh no, dude, he's going to go in a hole." And he hung up in a tree. So we got extremely lucky. And then he wanted to add on a pig hunt, so we went out yesterday, and but he didn't want a trophy. And I saw the biggest boar I've ever seen on Tajon, like probably 285 pounds, 300 pounds, with like 4-inch teeth. And the guy was like, "Nope, I want to meet pig." I was like, "Please shoot that pig. Like, please shoot him." And he's like, "Nope." So we passed on 2 big trophy boars before we found a good, solid, like real fat, butterballed, like 180, 200-pound boar. Younger boar, but just real fat. Obviously we don't shoot sows at Tajon. We try to keep just only boars. So we ended up.
Is there a trophy fee at Tajon?
No. Nope.
So why that doesn't make any sense to me. Because if it was a trophy fee, that would make a little bit more sense. It's
right.
Like, I don't really want to spend the extra $500.
So he's a member. Like so he's a member. So he hunts pigs there on his own. Okay. And so he wanted something more for table fare. Obviously, he didn't want a trophy. He wanted something that was a good eater. So, which I mean, I respect that. You know what I mean? But as a guide, you're like, we just put all that hours. Please shoot that pig. And he even said, he's like, "Man, you almost had me talked into it, almost, because we had him at 200 yards, bedded, sleeping. He had no clue we were there." I was like, "Oh, we could kill this pig easily." He's just laying in a bed, like in a little cave. But we watched him walk out of our life forever until the next time. Hopefully the next time I see him, I have somebody that's trophy hunting, because for selfish reasons, I want to put my hands on him. So
do you often repeatedly see pigs that like, "No, I know that pig." That's a big area, man.
It's such a big area, and they're nomads. Do they roam so much? It's hard to tell unless he's like has like a distinct markings that you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I should say, like I've seen a pig, like on one hunt, and then if like say a Friday through Sunday hunt, and we didn't kill him, and then I have another customer roll in on Monday. I can usually I can say like, okay, and if we didn't really booger that pig, I can usually kind of find him. He's in the general area, but it's hard to tell. I mean, a lot of them, unless I said they have like distinct markings, it's kind of hard to tell if they're the same pig. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've got one sow that my dad was talking about, and he's like, "Oh, this, she's got color." We like to manage the pigs on the ranch for making sure that they don't start getting those funky colors that the coast has. We want to keep them
Yeah.
pretty much just straight black.
And see,
There's a
we're
sow.
starting to see a lot of colors at Tajon now.
Yeah, yeah. We want to kind of avoid that as best we can. And there's a sow that has kind of like a grayish belly on her. My dad's like, we might need to shoot her. And I was like, dude, I've seen that pig for the last like 5 years. And every time I see her, she's pregnant. Like, let her be. She's pumping
Right?
them. And
Yeah.
she's huge. She's huge. I saw her today. She's huge. I'm like, dude, and she's pregnant. Like, let her go.
Yeah.
She's pumping babies, and I'm not
Yeah.
seeing colored babies out of her. So
Yeah.
who
There's no
cares?
reason to shoot her. Yeah. Leave her alone.
She's gonna die of old age. Like, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So, well, you got some big stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Where are you headed here? You're leaving right after Thanksgiving, right?
Yep. Friday morning,
Where are you headed?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. So what are you hunting in Nebraska?
I got a muzzleloader deer tag. So I got the opportunity to shoot whitetail or mule deer in Nebraska. Buck.
So now are you going public or private?
It'll be a private land hunt. Funny story, I ended up connecting with this guy on a work event, and it was a kind of a rancher event that I was like conference kind of thing. And I ended up meeting this guy, and we were talking and just kind of got to know each other a whole bunch. And he's quite a bit older than I am. He's mid 60s, and we just started talking about conservation projects and ranching and cattle and hunting. And he's like, dude, it's so cool. Like, you're just so young, and like there's not that many young people that are so like into conservation stuff. Because I mean, that's my job. I work for a conservation agency helping farmers and ranchers with their grant funding and seeing like the implementation projects and trying to help them just improve their properties. And so he's like, dude, this is so cool. Like, I've never met like so many young people that are like starting to get into that stuff. And he's like, are you interested in coming out to Nebraska to hunt? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, of course I am. But like, I said, oh yeah. And he's like, well, come out to my place. Like, I'm happy to have you out there. And I just kind of like was like, oh yeah, thank you. Like, I just didn't really want to push anything because I just don't know. Well, we started to get to know each other, and we had like at the event, we were supposed to do some mapping on each of our own properties. So I used my ranch obviously as an example. Everybody was kind of using their own properties, and if you didn't own a property, you would partner with somebody that had a property, and we would like map things out and learn how to dissect different segments of the ranches and stuff. And I started talking with this gentleman, and come to find out, he has about 8,000 acres out there. And at the end of the conference, he was like, hey, the offer still stands. If you want to come out and shoot bucks, I haven't had any hunters on it in like 20 years.
Holy cow.
And I'm like, he's like, he's hunted it, but like
Right.
around. He's killed 3 deer in his life. Like, he's not a hunter. He just drives around, and if he sees a buck that he likes, he might shoot it, if it's in season, but he doesn't care. He doesn't like, his family doesn't hunt or anything like that. And I'm like, dude, like, yes, I'm coming out there. And so just been talking with him and planning like, okay, where am I staying? What do I do? And he's like, oh, just stay at my house. He's like, I have like a couple houses on my property. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I got my own place too. And I'm like, can I bring, a buddy and my fiance for like videoing and helping me out? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, no worries. Like, I'm like, cool, I can't wait to see you. And he's like, oh, I won't be there. And I'm like, what?
He's giving you the whole place to
The
yourself?
whole place to myself. He's like, have fun. Just shoot
Wow.
one buck, shoot one buck, and it has to be a 3-point on either side minimum. And I was like, that's
Wow.
it? He's like, keys are yours.
What a nice guy. You don't
I
meet
was
people
like,
like that.
no, like, and I'm like, holy smokes, like, what kind of opportunity? Like, I can't pass on that. And Nebraska, what really intrigued me was, it is over the counter. Essentially over the counter. The tag I got is like a 99% draw odd. And what else was? And then oh yeah, the out of state tag price is like $325.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, oh yeah, it's like nothing. And I'm like,
No.
wait a second. So I don't have to pay for lodging, $300. I don't have to pay for access. I have higher opportunity to kill something. I'm like, why would I not go? You know,
Oh no,
it's
you
just,
have to go.
yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I hope that I can hunt it again, but let's say I don't. Like, then I just miss that opportunity. I have to go. It's too good to pass up. So I'm very excited, and we've been in contact the last couple months, and he he sent me a picture the other day of an absolute giant deer, but unfortunately, it was dead and caught up in one of his fences. And I
Mm.
mean, I think I sent you that photo. I mean, that
Yeah.
buck had to be 200 inches, if not super close.
That was a big deer. That was a very
Big
big
deer.
deer. It's kind of bummer. Makes me sad when I see giant deer go out like that. You know what I mean? Like just by getting wrapped up in a fence. It's kind of a bummer deal.
Bummer way to go.
Yeah. So how are you guys? Are you guys driving, or are you gonna fly?
We're gonna drive. So I just hooked up my truck today. We got a side by side that we're towing out there, so we're gonna have our own means of transportation, and we're gonna be driving through Vegas, Salt Lake City, and then going through Wyoming, and then going to Nebraska.
So was it
So
taking you 3 days to get out there?
no, we're gonna do it in two.
Ooh, that'll be
Oof,
some
yeah.
long days.
Yeah, so it's going to be about 12. We're going to go from on Friday morning, we're going to leave here and we're going to make it to Salt Lake City. And then we're going to wake up in the morning. That's about halfway. Wake up in the morning, do the other half.
Yeah.
So 12 and 12 is roughly it, but I'm pulling a trailer, so I'm going to add a couple more hours. So, let's say an hour on each end, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours on each end. It's kind of my thought process.
Well, your slowest part's going to be California, obviously, because of 55, 60.
Yeah.
But once you get out of that, you hit state line, 80.
Yeah,
You
just
got to love out of state driver's license. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like, though, like that's half the fun is the travel. You know what I mean? Like, at least going over there. Coming home kind of sucks because you're tired and you're just like, I want to get home, or you don't want to come back. You know what I mean? But I feel like those road trips are fun. You
Oh yeah,
know?
I'm so excited. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. We get to go see some cool new places. I've not fully driven through Wyoming before. I've been to Wyoming. I've been to Jackson Hole and spent a little time out there, but um, getting to actually drive Wyoming, I'm excited about, and a couple of the other states. Like, it's just fun to go see new areas and see
Yeah.
what you see.
Now, is this a state you've always wanted to hunt, or is this just a state, obviously, just because the guy invited you?
Just he invited me, and
Yeah.
as I started to do more research, like, there's some big deer killed every year out there. Very big deer, especially mule deer. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
I'm,
that
I'm
that's
excited.
that's a that's kind of a sleeper state. You know what I mean? Like they kill some big bucks out in Nebraska, especially out there in those because like the terrain obviously is fairly flat.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
It's those flat rolling hills and cornfields. That's what
Now
they
does
got.
he says he farms it as well?
Uh, I wouldn't say farms. He's got a couple, like he's got like a pivot or something like that. So he's got a little bit of acreage for that, but he does raise cattle. So, but it's not a very big operation. It's not like his livelihood.
Right.
It's more of like a hobby kind of thing.
So mainly it's just wild land out there that
Yep.
obviously he's not running a bunch of cattle on it.
No, I think he just, I'll find out more on, I know he's got a ranch manager out there, and he's going to come in and meet me and talk to me and kind of give me the lay of the land. But other than that, he's like, see ya, have fun. And yeah, I don't know exactly all the details of what that ranch is used for, but that's kind of how we connected. Was us talking about how can we, you know, use the land that we have without like kind of destroying it or developing it or anything like that. Like we want to keep it and preserve it, but we also
Right.
want to be able to make money. Like, how do you make money with a plot of land if you're not developing it? You don't really want an outfitter on it. You don't really want, some things on it. Like, how do you do it? And so that's kind of where we just started throwing ideas at each other and kind of hit it off.
So have you e-scouted at all as far as like what's your game plan?
Yeah, that's a good question. It is so flat. So it's kind of funny because it's just like there's a couple little crevices down the middle of the ranch, and I kind of planned on hitting some of these little I can't even, they're hills, little hills and little canyons. So I'm gonna, glass from up top, and there's some waterways there, and I just kind of want to focus on that water and see if, like, the little creek or river or whatever, and see if those bucks are moving down the river or creek bed and coming up to the pivot to feed is kind of my thought. Catch them in between their beds. Um, we'll see. I mean, honestly, like, thankfully, if we get there on Saturday night, we'll have Sunday all day to scout. So I can hopefully start to, see if we're, you know, get some deer, with our own eyes, and then kind of make a game plan of where we're seeing those things. It
Yeah.
all depends.
I feel like probably the first part of your hunt, probably the first 2 days, is going to be more of scouting than more than of actual hunting. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you're hunting, but trying to figure out a property you've never hunted. So like now, obviously you being new to hunting and, this is kind of like you've been out of state a couple times, but like you said, you were always out of state helping other people. So like, I'm assuming this is your first out of state hunt for you, correct?
I'd say yes. I had a landowner tag for a cow elk a while ago, but I wasn't successful. We didn't even see a cow elk, so
Yeah.
not really. This
So this is
is
this is your second one. So
yeah.
now leading up to this, obviously, being new to this, you know what I mean? And you could probably relate to some of the listeners that, obviously are new to hunting. Like, how did you prep for this hunt? Like what were the steps that you took with a little bit of knowledge that you have or the knowledge that you have?
Hmm. I would say one. I looked on Go Hunt, so I got to see the opportunity. Kind of, I looked at the unit. I got to see the trophy potential, so I kind of know exactly what to look for in terms of size, and go, okay, like this is what I can expect from a trophy, which I believe it's like 160, which is,
That's a
nice.
that's a nice buck.
Yeah, 160, 170 is, I think it might be 170 is trophy, so it's fairly bit larger than what I'm used to. and
Yeah.
and then I started texting my whitetail buddies, and I said, all right, send me pictures, and I want to judge them on the camera and kind of get a feel for the size, because whitetail, if you look at a whitetail, like I've only hunted like mule deer essentially. Um, that's totally different than whitetail. So if you put a 170-inch whitetail or 150-inch whitetail in front of me, and then show me a 145-inch mule deer, I'd probably shoot the 145 mule deer because they look bigger.
Right.
But in reality, like if I'm really going for like the biggest buck and like coolest or whatever, like look at the whitetail. Um, I don't know how to field judge. So for whitetail. So that's kind of what I started focusing on a little bit, is just trying to figure out, like, familiarize myself with the size of those deer. And
Are you hunting
I'm
whitetail or mule deer or
both.
both?
I can do
Both.
both.
You can
So
do
I
both.
have either option. So I don't want to pass. I'd rather have a big mule deer because I just love them. But man, if you put a big whitetail in front of me, I'm not going to say no. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah. I was
yeah,
a little confused there at first. I was like, "Why are you looking at whitetail?" But I didn't realize you could shoot. So you can shoot both.
I could
So
shoot
that's
either
cool.
or.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so now you have options. So that's pretty
I got
cool.
options. I got
Right.
options. And yeah, so I started familiarizing myself with the sizes. Um, there's not a lot of hiking, so it's easy for me because I'm already hiking here and stuff. Like putting a couple miles in the those hills, it ain't gonna be that bad. Um, I got some new gear. I bought some new, more weatherproof boots. They're definitely higher grade of insulation. It is supposed to be pretty cold. We're going to be hitting the cold snap on opening weekend, so
That
it
should be good. It
should
should be
drop.
pushing those bucks around.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because it literally goes from pretty much what I've read is been kind of hotter this year in this area. 60 degrees ish. Some pushing close to 70 degrees in the day in the rut,
This
and
time of the
then
year, that's not good.
not good. So
No.
60 degrees kind of dropped down to 50s a little bit. Like it wasn't very cold. Then when I get there, like on Saturday, drops down to 30, and then it drops down to 20, high 20, or 20s as the high, like 21-degree high and 5-degree low
What's the wind going
at
to be
night.
like?
Uh, that's the real question. I do not know. So I had to make sure that I have, a harder shell that I'm going to wear underneath my puffy
Yeah. Because
to kind of
at
break that
20s,
wind.
20 is doable. But when you get a 20 plus mile an hour wind that's consistent all day, it makes it feel like it's in the teens, and it'll cut right through you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially out there in that flat land. Obviously, deer do not like wind, so always remember that. You know what I mean on this hunt. Like if you get really windy days, and Nebraska's known for windy days, especially out there in those plains, you try to find cuts that those deer are going to go into that are going to be out of the wind.
Okay.
And
That's a good tip.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like elk, it doesn't bother elk, but deer and wind, they do not like it, and they will get out of the wind. So if you can find pockets out of the wind, especially in that, like I said, in that flat country, that's a really good place to start looking if it's consistent wind all day. You know, so I think you should have a fairly good hunt.
I think so too.
Yeah,
And
what boots did you end up going with?
oh goodness. It starts with an H. Um, I don't know. They're like Gore-Tex, heavy insulated. They were on sale on the Go Hunt gear shop thing for a couple $100, and I was like, all right, like I need to get something just in case. So, um, got those. I do have to wear orange, so gonna need to go get, make sure that I got all my orange, like the hat and the little vest and
The pumpkin patch.
the pumpkin patch.
Yeah. At least you don't
Thankfully,
have to deal with.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm the only pumpkin in the patch.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least you're the only pumpkin in the patch on that one. That makes it nice. Sometimes you go to state, you look out, and you're like, "Oh my god!" There's just hundreds of orange, like just bouncing around in the woods, and you're like, "There's so many people," you know.
Dude. Yeah, like I went out on my first whitetail hunt was Minnesota. Oh, I did have another tag. Yeah, I didn't see a buck either. I saw one doe for 5 days, so I kind of blocked that out of my
Well,
memory.
third chance, or was it third time's the charm?
Third time's the charm. There we
Yeah,
go.
exactly. And so,
So
and like what I was going to ask you though is like, so in this hunt, you said you've scouted or whatever. So have you gone on like Go Hunt or any of your hunt maps and like have you used the 3D mode at all on those
Yeah,
maps?
dude, it is flat. It is
Right.
so flat. I mean, there's some hills, obviously,
Yeah.
and
Do you
there's
have a?
some.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask you. Do you have a roof on your side by side that's
Yes.
sturdy,
Yep.
like good enough where you could sit on?
That's not a bad idea.
That's
Yeah.
that's always a good one to do is to sit on top of the roof. Like if I've hunted flat places where I can't see very well, like I can't get a vantage point, kind of reminds you of like Mexico hunting where you get up in those high racks. You know what I mean? And so trying to get as high as you possibly can to be able to glass, far distances really helps.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, my plan was I'm gonna with my buddy Matt, I'm gonna drive and drop him off at a spot, and then I'm gonna go to another spot, and we're just gonna spend pretty much the days apart
Divide and conquer.
and divide and conquer, and just say, take some photos, and we'll meet back in end of the day and go through what we saw, and take a morning an afternoon drive, and just drive around the property, get familiar, try to the landowner sent me pictures. He's told me a couple like little spots where his cameras are set up, and you know the landowner's so funny. He's like, oh, here's a decent buck, and like sends me this picture, and it's just a 160-inch whitetail, and I'm like, dude, like, no, not even joking. Like, and I sent it to my buddy. I said, how big is this? He goes, easily 160. That's a giant. And I go, yeah, the guy just didn't care. And I'm like,
I don't think he knows.
he must not know. And that's the thing.
No.
Like, he had one hunter come out this year. I think a family friend. It was like a young kid. And so I texted him and I was like, hey, like, how'd the rifle season go? Cause it just ended, like Sunday. And he goes, "Oh, it was good. They tagged out within the first like day or two or whatever." And he's like, it was a 4 point, and he sends me the picture, and it's this 4 point way in between the ears, little guy. And I was like,
Oh,
dude, like that one had so much potential. Why would you shoot that?
right.
And he goes, they accidentally shot it. They were supposed to go for the bigger one that was with him. And so he's like, at least I know there's one big buck on the ranch right now. And I was like, dude, there's so many more deer than you know. Like, he
Well,
lives in
it
Santa
sounds
Barbara.
like oh well, yeah. So
Yeah.
he's
So
absentee owner, doesn't like hunting, or not to say doesn't like hunting. He obviously doesn't hunt. I mean, he doesn't mind hunting, but just like he doesn't know. He has no clue what he has. You know what I mean?
no
Like,
idea. No idea.
yeah. And how many
Yeah.
days are you actually hunting?
I'm gonna be there. We have 5 days. So the season opens on the 1st, and then we're gonna leave latest Saturday morning. So I'll hunt till Friday if I have to, but I really hope I don't have to.
Yeah. Now you're gonna obviously. I'm assuming you're gonna be picky. Like, are you gonna shoot one at the end, or are you gonna go big or go home and just be like, nope, I'm going. I'm either coming home with a tag or a big
No,
one.
I'm not going to be as picky, I don't think, to be honest
Right.
with you. I think I'm going to be less picky than I am on this ranch. One, because I have less time, and
Right.
my standards are, yeah, they have bigger deer, but that doesn't mean they're there. And it is what it is. I mean, if you give me a nice buck in front of me, I'm probably going to take it. Especially, maybe I'll be a little bit selective on day one and day two. Wednesday comes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice buck, and let's go. So
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fun hunt.
I'm excited. We'll
Yeah.
see.
That's
We'll
what I
see
like
a new
about.
place.
Yep. I was gonna say just going out and seeing new country. Like that's the fun part about hunting. You know what I mean? Like without hunting, you probably have never went to Nebraska. You know what I mean?
No,
Ever. You know.
I played one lacrosse game out there, and dude, those were big corn-fed dudes. I mean, I'm not kidding. They were. We beat them. It was all of us Southern California boys, and we're all short. We had like one 6'5" dude on our lacrosse team, and their whole team was the size of our tallest guy.
The
And we were
corn
just
fred
like,
out there.
holy smokes, these guys are just like eating a cow a day. Like these guys are literally huge. And we whooped the crap out of them. We beat
Nice.
Nebraska. We beat a couple other like North Dakota and some Minnesota teams. We were like, dude, we got lucky there. But
Well, it seems like it's going to be a fun hunt. You know what I mean? Like, especially having your buddy there. Obviously, you guys hunt a lot together, so that's good to have somebody there that you know what I mean. That is got that you've hunted with multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, the one time I met him when we were out at your place. You know what I mean? Like, he's seems like the type of guy like you drop him off and he's good all day.
all day. I don't
Like,
have to worry about
what did
it.
I tell him the last time? I was like, you seem like the type of guy that you just need a candy bar and some broken dreams, and then off you go.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to hunt with him. And I think this is a cool thing because you have mentioned to me about Hunter and how you
Yep.
guys just click.
Yep.
He's like your guy. You hunt the best when you hunt with Hunter, from what
Yep.
it sounds like.
Yeah.
I hunt my best when I hunt with Matt. Like somebody that is on my exact same wavelength. He knows exactly what I want, especially when, being picky on the ranch. Like he knows that, if he sees a 130-inch buck, he's not going to call me and go,
Yeah, he's not
"Hey,
going to
I
waste your
found
time calling you
He's
for
like, no,
some
no, no.
buck that you're not going to shoot anyways.
Yeah, he knows exactly what I'm looking for, and he knows how to find it. He's one of the most trustworthy people I've ever met in my life, and that's why I'm friends with him.
Yeah.
But
Well, it sounds
makes
like
it more fun. It makes it more fun to hunt with somebody. Like,
Yeah. When you can click with somebody, it really does make a huge difference when you can click with somebody when it comes to hunting. You know what I mean? Like you said with me and Hunter, and then I have another friend Daniel, and like my other buddy Kenny. Like those are guys like my buddy Jake. Like we those guys like I can click with really really well. But I've hunted with them for a lot of years. You know what I mean? So it's like those guys and I do really well together.
when you see something that it's gonna
Yep.
die.
Like those guys are the ones that I take to battle with on a like awesome hunt, like a once in a lifetime hunt, because I know that they know what they're looking for, and I know that they're not going to waste my time. You know what I mean? Like like with Matt. Matt's not going to call you for some 16-inch 4-point. Like I got a big buck over here, and you go over here like, dude, what? No, like I don't want that. Like keep looking. When you see
he's
it,
a young deer.
yeah, 25-inch buck plus, like call me.
Yeah.
Not inside the ears. At the ears, no. Just outside the ears, no. You know what I mean? Heavy, tall, wide. Like when you go, oh my
4.5
God.
plus year old buck.
Yeah. So this. I'm excited for you, man. Like I really hope that like you said, the third time's the charm. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that you know what I mean. Like you're going to a state you've never been. You're going to a piece of property you've never been. You know what I mean? And you got 5 days to like find one, figure out that piece of property, and then get one killed. And you have options. You know what I mean? Like that's cool about other states having different species of deer, and in the same obviously the same unit or within the state that you can hunt either or. You know what I mean? So like if you see a big whitetail, you can shoot it, or if you saw a big mule deer, you could shoot it. Like I like having options.
Yeah. Yeah. Because and that's why I had to say yes. Like
Yeah.
there's no question about it.
I'm assuming you're leaning more towards mule deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I mean, what are you like? What are you more looking like to take away from this hunt? Like,
well, the first being just a new experience, cool spot. Hopefully, meet some cool people. Yeah, just try something new. I'm using a different weapon in a different state with a shorter amount of time than I'm used to. There's so many different factors, and then, I lost my train of thought. Taking it away. Oh, like also, I'm hunting for meat for my wedding, so there's another factor where my trophy size kind of went down a little bit because
right?
if I don't come home with a buck and we're seeing deer, my fiance's filming the hunt for me. So she's gonna be pissed, to say the least. And be like, "You're passing deer, and we need the meat."
Well, I mean, the good thing is if you get there and you see a lot of deer, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're not like pounding them real hard, you know what I mean? Like, just take inventory for the first 4 days. And then on the fifth day, you know what I mean? Go shoot like a nice, respectable 3-pointer or, like a nice 4-pointer or something. You know, it may not be huge, but at least like if you leave it alone, like it's going to be there. You're the only one hunting that place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just don't chase them.
Yeah.
Those bucks they're locked down in that region. The property's big enough, and they've got what the deer like, that they're gonna stay in that
Yeah.
general area. So I'm not too worried.
Now on this muzzleloader, is it loose powder and iron sights, or can you use pellets
Scope.
with a scope? Oh, with a scope.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wow. And
Yep.
can you use pellets, or does it have to be loose powder?
Um, it's loose powder. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm shooting is loose powder. So I actually don't know if you're able to use the pellets, but
Yeah. Are you allowed to use sabots?
what is a sabot?
Sabot's the one that has the bullet within the case, like the plastic
Yeah,
around it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them right here. Hold on.
Oh yeah. You shooting the 50 cal or the 45?
50.
Ooh. Now, have you
Put a
shot
bullet.
that out? Like, have you went and practiced with it?
Yep.
How far are you comfortable out to?
I was pretty close, about like this, at 100 yards with a 3-shot group without a tripod, which was good. So I was
Yep.
like, all right, I'm good there. I stretched out to about 150, did pretty good there. And then tomorrow I'm going to go out there and I'm going to shoot 200. And I think that's going to be my max is
Yeah.
200. And yeah, dude, it's so crazy. Like so I'm borrowing a buddy's, and I'm like, dude, I'd like to go try to hunt some pigs with this thing. That'd be awesome.
Dude, when I got
That'd be
my
awesome.
muzzleloader, that's the first thing I thought of when I got a muzzleloader. I was like, this would be kind of cool to shoot a pig. Like iron sight, just sneak in with a muzzleloader and go shoot a pig.
It would be so cool.
Right? Because like shooting with a rifle anymore is just kind of like, man, whatever,
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
shoot one with like a muzzleloader or like archery or something, I think would be pretty cool to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll
Well,
give you a
it
little,
sounds like tomorrow you're going to go out and go whack one with that muzzleloader. You
right?
should. You might as well. I mean, think
Might
about
as
it.
well.
Just yeah.
Really,
I mean,
really
you
test
can't.
it out.
Right? Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna practice, don't practice on paper. Go take it out to the ranch tomorrow and go see if you can't whack a pig with it, just to get used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like try to pick one out at like 150, 200, and let her rip.
So I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
um, Brady and Lane from Go Hunt are coming out end of January. We're going to be doing another pig hunt with them, and we've been trying to think of some ideas. And one of Brady's ideas for the pig hunt was muzzleloader.
Ooh, that'll be
Um,
fun.
just kind of like thinking of some like, some different things. Like, is there anything else that you like would be like, oh, that would be a pretty cool hunt like we could do, that's not like, over the top weird, like Texas style, like kind of, I don't know, I don't really like the whole thing with the spears and stuff. Like, that's just like, I want to hunt.
Right. The only one I could think of is, and we'd have to look at the regulations, but with those like high dollar air rifles,
Oh yeah.
as long as it's copper, obviously. And
Yeah.
you'd have to look at the regulations. I'm not sure. I've never really looked at that for California. But if it's legal, that would be kind of cool to get in like super close and then like ear hole one. You know what I mean? With like that big air rifle. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like super intimate. Like you're sneaking in super, super close.
That
Or
would be wild.
a recurve.
That would be cool too.
Yeah. I feel like a recurve, dude, like that's hard. You know what I mean? Like you got to shoot instinctual and like instinct, and like you got to really get in like 20, 30 yards on a big pig, especially like those big boars. Like, especially in your country, man, you get those big, like 300-pound boars and they just got that super thick, big armor plate on them. So to like try to slip one into the vitals, under that armor plate with a recurve would be like, pretty badass.
Yeah. So I went on I did a recurve hunt with my buddy. I took him out and it was going to be his first big game animal. So he'd been hunting for 11 years, or has been. He has never killed a big game animal. He's been close to some bucks and stuff, but he's never been able to like get it close, and he refuses to use a rifle. He's one of those guys. Like, that's the only reason why he hasn't killed, is because he will only kill something if it is with his recurve bow.
You got to respect that, though.
Oh, I respect the heck out of it. But I'm like, dude, like, just like get some blood under your nails for once. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just do it, and then just say that, hey, I got a pig hunt. You know, I got a pig on a hunt, like whatever. And so he was telling me about this. I'm like, dude, you got to come out here. Like, come out, let's go hunt. So we take him out, and he blew a couple stalks and whatnot. And the final stalk of the day, we see him coming into the pond, and so we sneak over to these rocks, and he's way up ahead of me. And I think I got it on film on my phone. It was before I actually started filming. And he sneaks up on these rocks as the pigs start to round the rock. And I mean, I'm not kidding. He stands up above it, and he is less than 5 yards. Those pigs walked right past him and me, and I'm like a couple yards back behind him, and I'm like, this dude could literally like pet them.
Oh,
and
wow.
Those things, and he was so close, but he couldn't move. Obviously, he couldn't draw or do anything. Those pigs rounded the water edge and kind of came up on the other side of the bank, because there was like a little little inlet of the lake or something like that, and they just kind of were splashing around on the other side at 15, 20 yards. And he was, we're trying to shoot a boar, so he had to like make sure he was shooting a boar. And so he's like all set up, and he draws back on this thing, and he's a like professional archer. I should have mentioned that. He wins state championships, travels around the country shooting. He's legit. And I mean, he put that thing right where he wanted it. Swap! Smacks this thing. That pig turned around, walked up the hill, and the arrow fell out. And I'm like, wait a second. And I start to like zoom in on like the video, and I'm like, you hit him weird. And he's like, I hit him right where I wanted him, right in the shoulder. And I went, no, dude. I'm like, you shouldn't have shot him in the shoulder. And he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, you got to hit him behind his shoulder. He hit him like right in that shield, dude.
Oh, so it didn't go anywhere. He got zero penetration.
It bounced right out of him. And I'm like, no, we had like a little spot of blood, and that was it. And he ran off just fine. I was like, that pig's fine.
Yep. Yeah, he'll be fine.
He learned a lesson, but he was like, I hit where I wanted. Like, that's where I was aiming. I'm like,
you got to come off that shoulder on those big boars.
Yeah, it was a good pig too. I mean, it was a good 180-pound boar.
That's a solid boar. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Got off topic with the shield thing, but got me thinking like recurve hunts would be cool.
I would tell Brady hey, bring your recurve, bring a rifle, and bring a muzzleloader. Let's go have some fun.
Yeah.
How many days are they coming out?
They'll be out for 4 days.
4 days.
So they'll come out on like Thursday afternoon. They'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they finally figured out that California's a fun place to come hunt.
Oh yeah. Did you listen to the podcast about that hunt?
No, I have not yet.
You should take a look.
I need to listen to it.
Brady was like apologizing at all the smack that he talks on California because he goes, man, it is such a beautiful place just driving through. Like, there are some beautiful areas. I mean, there's some rough spots, patches along the way, but for the most part, I mean, it's just, you get out of the cities, man. We've got a special place.
It's a special place. That's why we started this podcast. You know what I mean? It's because of how beautiful and how fun California could be for hunting. You know what I mean? The state offers a lot of opportunities. You know what I mean? From animals to terrain to everything. You know what I mean? So, brother, good luck on your hunt coming up. I can't wait to hear about it. I'm sure I'll be calling you probably every night. Yeah, being like, I'm gonna have to live my life vicariously through you. Yeah. Yeah, don't leave me in the dark.
Will not, dude. Yeah, we will. We'll definitely have to do an update podcast when we get back and talk about some other cool stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and you have safe travels to Nebraska, and keep me updated. And when you get back, we need to have a podcast on how it went.
Will do. Sounds good.
All right, brother.